We'll take a break after we finish this one.
Caleb, how do you spell your name?
Caleb, and Bryant, like Kobe.
Last name is Colby.
And now Kobe. Caleb Kobe.
Okay,
Ready to go, Caleb?
I'm ready here.
Okay, you're on.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm here this morning to share a message with you about how surrender brings fulfillment. Being at Bible college, we've all experienced this surrender, seeing as God has a call on our lives to come here. Personally, last year I was at a secular college, and I wasn't even saved at this point. I was just going through, living for the world, living for myself, doing what I felt was right. And one night doing homework, just got this little voice inside me that said, get a Bible. And I'm thinking, get a Bible. Okay, I've grown up in a Christian household. I know what a Bible is. I know who Jesus is. But what do I need a Bible for? Kind of pushed it away. As the next couple days went on, I kind of shake this feeling. Get a Bible, get a Bible. So I'm deciding, okay, maybe I'll get a Bible. Now, when I got this Bible, I could not put this thing down. Just started reading, got so intrigued with what I found in it, asking my mom, where should I go next, what should I do? Around the same time that I'm doing this, I started going to church with my parents every Sunday, because I'm getting filled up now, I'm interested. First or second Sunday, I'm going to church. I give my life to Christ completely. I said, Lord, you have to take control. I can't do this. Now, this surrender, I didn't exactly know what I was saying or what a surrender even meant. But I knew that what I've done through my whole life was with my control, and I didn't want that anymore because I didn't like the place that it took me. Sometimes we need to walk through unavoidable pain to see God's hand at work. If you all will flip with me to Matthew 26. Now this is where Jesus and his disciples are entering the Garden of Gethsemane. Verse 39. He went a little farther and fell on his face and prayed, saying, "O my Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will." Now this cup that Jesus is speaking of, this refers to a great joy or a great sorrow in either way. And in this instance, Jesus is speaking of, this is God's judgment against sin that he's about to go through. So Jesus knows, he's intensely sorrowful. He knows what's coming at him. Now, this is somewhat similar to me. A few weeks ago, I decided I was going to ride a skateboard down the nice big hill outside the cafeteria. And I figured, I'll just take it from this spot outside the cafeteria down to the tab. Then I won't have to walk, showing a little bit of laziness, whatnot. And by the time I got to the tab, I just had so much speed that I didn't know what I was going to do. I figured if I turn into the tab, I'm risking falling on the pavement. And I'm thinking, I don't want that. I'm trying to find ways out. So I decided I'm going to continue. I'll just continue this trek looking for ways out. Little did I realize, the rest of this trek will be a downhill slope. So now I'm riding, curve past the parking lot, narrowly avoiding cars in the parking lot. Right there itself was a feat. So now I'm just going straight. I look, because I can see the whole rest of the hill from where I am now. All downhill, right at the end, nothing but destruction. There's rocks, there's a ditch down there. I'm sure to bite it. So I'm thinking okay, am I going to put my foot down and try to slow down? Can I jump off and manage to run next to it? Am I gonna fall in the road? Like I'm getting afraid here. I'm really afraid. And then the thought popped into my mind, call on God. So this is where I had the opportunity to surrender. I was either gonna do what I thought to do and risk falling, risk getting hurt, or just let the Lord do it. And right there, I surrendered it all. I said, Jesus, help me. I said this out loud, Jesus, help me. Right as I said that, I noticed a patch of grass that I was coming up to. I'm like, okay, I can do that. And right as I start leaning to go that way, I get the death wobble. Now I'm real afraid because I've seen videos of people with the death wobble. If you get the death wobble, you're going down. Somehow I managed to stick it out and I pulled back normal. And I'm riding, going towards this grass. Now I'm faced with the decision, am I going to hit this curb and fall? Am I going to jump? Before I could even decide, boom, flipped off. Now I'm hitting the grass, rolling through the grass. I sat up, checked myself all out. No broken bones, I wasn't bleeding. A little scraped up from the grass. But through that one decision of surrender, I let the Lord have that, even something as small as skateboarding down a hill. And he took it from me. Even if you have good intentions, you need to put your own will aside to achieve the fulfillment of the bigger picture. Now, if you look at verse 47 through 53, we see Judas. Now, he's already betrayed Jesus. And Jesus is now sitting with Peter and James and John. They separated from the other disciples to go and pray. Now they see them coming. And, let's see where we are. 47. And while he was still speaking, behold, Judas, one of the 12, with a great multitude with swords and clubs, came from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now his betrayer had given them a sign, saying, whomever I kiss, he is the one, seize him. Immediately he went up to Jesus and said, greetings, Rabbi, and kissed him. But Jesus said to him, friend, why have you come? Then they came and laid hands on Jesus and took him. And suddenly one of those who were with Jesus stretched out his hand, drew his sword, and struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. But Jesus said to him, put your sword in its place, for all who take the sword will perish by the sword. Or do you not think that I can now pray to my Father, and he will provide me with more than 12 legions of angels? So think about this. You're with 3 of your other friends, and you see a multitude coming at you. Now this multitude is not just any old, army battalion. They're not organized. I picture a mob of people coming, dust storming all around them. They're swinging their weapons. Yeah. They're doing their thing. Now, this multitude was made up of Greek sinners who are Gentile, and it's also made up of Jewish servants of the high priest. Which is strange, because these two groups usually do not mingle. Now, the only reason that they are together in the first place is that they share a common hatred of Jesus. So they're coming with this hatred that's bringing them together, and they're coming to seize this man. Now Peter, being with 3 other people, decides he's going to pull out his sword and fight back, because he's going to protect his king to the end. If it costs his life, he's going to protect him. He swings it at this huge multitude of people. Jesus says no. Jesus stops him where he is. See, Jesus is heavenly minded. He knows what's to come after this. He already knows. So he's saying, Peter, you're going to mess this up if you do this. You need to stop and put that away. Now that's why I say that you have to surrender your own will. Peter had the right intention. He had the right motivation. He wanted to do the right thing. It wasn't his place to do it. He put this sword away and they ran. They were gone. They didn't want anything to do with that. Now this brings me to my life at Finger Lakes last year again. I had good intentions, you know. I wasn't saved at this point. But I was gonna go get an education. I was gonna get a job. I was gonna make my own money. I wasn't mooching off the government. I was gonna do it right by the American standard. And God called me. He said, you know, look, I'm calling you now. When I became a Christian, it was good. That summer, started working with a preacher, a pastor at my church. He discipled me. He helped me lay down a good Christian groundwork. That summer, I got the call from the Lord to go to Bible college. Now, this was a huge decision. Am I going to leave everything behind that I already had going for me? I was even signed up for classes for the next year already. And I had such a desire in my heart to read the Bible, to get closer to God, that it was a no-brainer for me. I gave up everything I had going, and I said, I'm going to Bible college. I faced opposition in my parents, where they said this might not be the best decision for you. Why don't you maybe think about finishing out? You know, I faced opposition from friends who they're not saved. You know, I never hung out with a saved group. They're saying, you know, why are you going to go study the Bible? What is that going to do for you? But I had this already surrendered in my heart. It wasn't my will anymore. It wasn't what I was going to do. It wasn't where I was going to go for myself. Now, being here at Bible college, we've all made that surrender already, in one way or another. But this surrender, you know, we study daily. We get tired. Our minds get fogged up. Sometimes we just need something fresh. We may be stale or whatnot, and I'm wondering, is there anybody in this room right now who needs a fresh surrender? Is there somebody who's ready to recommit to the Lord that their life is His? And I'm just wondering if that's you right now. We're going to go into a time of prayer, and I would ask that all you would close your eyes and just raise your hand if that's you. If you think you're ready to make this new surrender, if you want all that the Lord has